Well, on your side, you try to have the right attitudes to them, but it's also on their side to do something about the relationship. I think when you've forgiven a person, you meet that person, that you will greet that person in a normal, gentle way. Because it doesn't stir up pain anymore. I mean, when you have really forgiven and you see the person again, it doesn't stir up pain like it used to be. So you can be like normal, like neutral. And you never know what kind of miracle happens once you have forgiven, because it also releases that other person to change his mind. So that can sometimes happen.
You know, I had someone in church that I just met, they needed a ride. So one of the leaders asked me to give her a ride.
Yeah.
So I was giving her a ride, but the day I gave her a ride, I picked up something. And what I picked up in the spirit, that happened.
Okay, it was someone with an evil spirit.
Yes, and then they asked me to give her another ride, so I talked to the Lord about it, and they said she really needed a ride, like blah, 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 so I gave her another ride. What she did is she lied on me and stuff in the church. So I was praying that morning, and I seen like a vision. I'm gonna leave it just right here. And then I went to the church, and she pulled me on the side, and she kept grabbing me, telling me that I was really angry with her, and I said, no, I was never angry with you. She said, well, I feel it in my spirit. I go, no, I'm not even mad at you at all. I said, what you did, you have to take it up with him, because I didn't take the offense. I said, because I wasn't about to take the offense because of the relationship I have. I didn't want to mess up my relationship with you. And that's how I felt. So I told her, well, if you feel blah, 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 I'm sorry if you're feeling that way, but I don't feel like that. And I was never mad at you. And then I left it as that.
Yeah. Sometimes people are quite complex, aren't they?
Yeah.
And especially people that suffer from rejection issues.
That's what it was.
They can be very suspicious.
Yes.
Yeah, that happens a lot. And
I
it's not
seen-
easy to
I seen me got in a web,
Yeah.
stuck in a web, a spider web.
Yeah, I think it's also necessary. I've been teaching on the cleansing prayer quite a few times now, but not in this group particularly. Who has not heard the cleansing prayer the way I do it? Yeah, okay, so we'll do that. The point is this: when we minister to people, and it doesn't need to be deliverance, but when we minister to people, the demons that are there, not big demons, mosquitoes, those demons will be very irritated and they will attack us. Some of us are less sensitive, others are more sensitive, so some of us will feel it stronger, others will feel it less, but it can even be pretty dangerous. That's why always after our healing room we do a kind of cleansing prayer. And so we hold hands, and no one is allowed to leave the healing room for our team before the cleansing prayer. And that prayer goes like this. Father, we come to you in the name of Jesus, and we command any demon that we met today, that we contacted today, to stay away from us, our family, our possession, and our transport, in Jesus' name. That's the first one. The second one is, we come against any spirit of revenge that the devil sends after us. And we command him to stay away from us, our family, our possessions, and our transport, in Jesus' name. That's the second one. The third one is this. We worship you, Lord Jesus, because you're the King of Kings, Lord of Lords. You're on the right hand of the Father, and all authority in heaven and earth is given to you. Every knee will bow and every tongue confess that you are Lord. We are bought by your blood. We are covered by your blood. And because we are in you, we also have authority. Amen. So the three parts. First part is about the spirits in the people that we met. It can be a simple, we just give a simple testimony, but the spirits that are there are offended and they attack us. It can be full deliverance ministry, the spirit that we call that we threw out will attack us. In fact, it always happens. And some are more sensitive than others, but all kinds of strange things can happen suddenly. Your child gets sick, has an accident, you will have a headache after that. You'll have something with your car, okay, little things, something can happen. And so that's why we command them, we detect them, we command them to stay away from us, including our family, our possessions, and transport that can be just a bus, so it isn't even our transport, but we have to bring that under protection as well. The second category is demons that are not in people. It's spirits that are not in people. I call them Satan's militia. And so they get active as soon as we want to do something for God. So as soon as we want to organize an event for the kingdom of God, or we have a plan to serve God, to start a new ministry, they're sent out to disturb us, kill us, whatever they can. So they need to be addressed, because they can come, we call them spirits of revenge. They might come later and try to make us lose our joy, and they can be pretty dangerous. And so we command them to stay away. And the third part is to glorify Jesus and to make sure that the devil knows who we are. We are in Jesus and we have authority, so he has to listen to what we say. This will prevent many of the attacks that come on us and our families, not all, but a lot of them. And so it's very important. So in our healing rooms, it's like, okay, it's obligatory to do such a kind of prayer before you leave the healing room. Sometimes I even do it during ministry, because I had experienced that when ministering to some people, I would suddenly be so tired. When I started, I was rather fresh, and I ministered to someone, and it's like I could fall asleep. And I think, what is that? First, I didn't know what it was. It was for me a very strange experience. And at some point I realized, oh, wait a minute. These are the demons that are in that person and that want to deactivate me. So I'm getting so tired that I lose my focus and I feel like I want to quit. I just feel bad. And the moment I found out what it was, when it happens again, immediately, not loud, I say, you, demons come from that person. Get off me in the name of Jesus. And it's like, I'm there again. So, yeah.
What about before the healing room? Do you have a specific?
So before the healing room, we celebrate Holy Supper normally, and I think we should even be more aware of this. So bring ourselves under the protection of Jesus before we start ministry. Would really be a good idea. It's also good to emphasize more on intercession. You know, it's always an issue that we don't have enough intercessors. I don't know if you have that experience. So that's an issue, but it's important that every event for Christ, that it has intercessors.
So true.
And people that pray that those disasters do not happen. Reinhard Bonke, he had full-time intercessors when he was doing those things in Africa. He had full-time intercessors that would pray during the whole, before the conference, during the build-up of all the platforms, etc. He would have full-time intercessors, and he would have them at the platform during the meetings. And so to really subdue all those witches that are coming, the evil spirits that are coming, and it was highly successful. And sometimes we don't have people who want to do that. But it's really important. It's really important that we have people that pray around us when we are in healing ministry. Sometimes you don't have them. It means you're more vulnerable. And so sometimes we have no idea. God was trying to tell me something. He wanted me to engage more in Romania. I still had no idea what I should do there, but he wanted to move me. So at some point I even saw one of those typical airplanes that goes there. I said, Lord, what does it mean? He says you will go there a lot more often. I still haven't got it. So what happened? I'm at Christmas, I'm in Holland, and the second day of Christmas I go to have dinner with my mother, and I come home and my home is burglared. And so all kind of things have disappeared, but also a large sum of money that I had there to print another book. And so it's all gone, so all my plans, everything is really destroyed. And of course the house is broken, things are broken. And I must leave in that condition because the police have to check if they can find fingerprints. And I'm like, okay, what shall I do? So I put it on Facebook. I came home this evening, my house is burglared, a lot of stuff is gone. And within half an hour I had 6 reactions, like, when this happens, God is about to do something great. And it really encouraged me. So, okay, next day come the police, next day come the people to repair the damage. And the next day, very late, I quickly checked on Facebook, and I noticed that one of the girls of the church in Romania is still online, and there it's 3 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, what are you doing on Facebook that late? So I make a joke, and I said, what is a beautiful young lady doing, at 3 o'clock in the morning at Facebook? And she says, well, actually, I'm preparing for New Year's Eve, that will be in 2 days. Our prophetic team, you have been training them, they're going to prophesy to everyone, they're going to make presents for one another. And she says, well, I have you now, maybe you should prophesy and write it down and send it us for that evening. And at that moment, God speaks to me, no, you have to go there yourself. And I start protesting. I said, Lord, that's unrealistic. I mean, I just lost a few $1,000s in that theft. I must economize. I cannot on such short notice buy expensive airline ticket, go there, go back. It will all be so costly, I have to economize. And that moment I realized that that's why it happened.
Mm.
The whole burglary, the whole thing happened with one reason, to prevent me from going there. And the moment you see it, you realize I have to go anyway, money or no money, or whatever happened. I have to understand that the strategy of the devil, I have to go anyway. So I just told her, I'm coming. And in fact, that opened the door. 4 months later, we had a healing room there. And so I realized the devil is doing things to discourage us. And sometimes we can't prevent it. It just happens. We completely unexpectedly, we're hit by something, and it's so discouraging. And then we should realize there's a strategy. I think I should say that because there's so much misunderstanding. We are living in a war. There are 2 strategies. One strategy is God's strategy. He made you. He planned all your days. He made an agenda. He has a destiny for you, and it's amazing. It's amazing. For everyone, it's amazing. And then we don't realize there's another strategy. And it's going to discourage us. It's going to take away our hope. It's putting us down. It's humiliating us, abusing us, in order that we will not go in God's plan. And so a person that lives now, Joyce Meyer. Okay, so there's this girl, her name is Joyce Meyer, and God has a plan for her. God wants her to reach the world, to speak, to have a message to the world, and to be, especially in that area of inner healing, your mind. God wants to use her there. And the devil knows that he needs to counterattack. So what you're going to do, you're going to make her a victim. Because then she'll never counsel. If you succeed in making her a victim, she's never going to counsel because she will need counseling all her life herself. So what do? Her father will abuse her, and she will be a wreck, and she will not function. Strategy, counter strategy. And she made some right choices, and the devil just lost completely. Because instead of weaker, she became stronger. And so everyone who has a calling from God will face those things that as a counter strategy. A young person, woman or young man, that has a calling of God, what is the devil going to do? The most successful strategy is to make that person fall in love with someone who's an unbeliever. It's highly effective, and it takes out so many people that are full of promises and that have so many options, are so intelligent, so beautiful, and God wants to use them. So what do? You send them an unbeliever, and they fall in love, and they do not see what's happening. Another situation, you lose a child, and you'll get discouraged, and you'll blame God for allowing it, not realizing that the devil just did that to discourage you. And when you blame God, you will not go for ministry, to minister yourself, because you're disappointed and you're a bit frustrated with God. Yeah, Bill.
Yeah, you know what happened to me? He says, something will hit you. Well, what happened to me, on the 4th of January, I was hit. Somebody rear-ended me. And the day that my car, that was hit, was repaired, and I actually had it back, was the day that he arrived. But I didn't, I didn't let the thing bother me because I wasn't hurt at all.
Mm-hmm.
And the person who hit me wasn't hurt. Her car was totaled, but I wasn't hurt at all. But I could have been discouraged if I wasn't in the right state of mind, because I was in a good state of mind, And I mean, it wasn't a big deal. My bumper got pretty messed up, but I thought, what's this all about? Is it,
Yeah.
And I thought, well, maybe it's about that girl. She has, who hit me, or I say, well, what did I do wrong, Lord? Or, I'm thinking, but then when we pulled in our car into a little driveway to call the insurance company, I looked at the address of where we pulled in, 777 Middlefield. I thought, 777, okay, the Lord's with me. I'm not going to worry about this thing. And so I was cheerful. I even tried to cheer up the girl. She was still crying. And I even took her to church the next day.
Aww.
And she went up for prayer and everything. And so, but I think maybe the enemy was trying to discourage me. Little things, all kinds of little things were happening to me that week. All kinds of crazy things. And that was one of them. And then when my car got fixed, he arrived. And I, during that time, I said, yeah, he can stay at my place. And so, the enemy is out there doing stuff, but if we're walking with the Lord with a good attitude about things, then He'll get us through that, and we can go forward.
You were just talking about it, just referred to me, my daughter, and her situation exactly was like that. God has a calling to her. I've been praying, intercede for her. Constantly get into the wrong relationship. I know even God showed me in the dreams that's not the right person. But I am so tired. I have 3 kids. I have to pray for her one after another, because it's in the dream that even God shows me that was not from Him, not from God.
Yeah.
So I have to continue to pray for her. But it's just so timing consuming. But how I am going to know that also people prophesy for her and seeing that God already prepared a man who is fear of God for her. But she's not going for that right now. She left the church. So as a parents, what we are going to do in a situation, because it can be very frustrating, because one after another, and how I'm going to do, no, I'm praying that God will remove the things that's not from God. How are you going to pray as a parent like that?
That's not an easy answer. I'm not a parent myself, so so the first thing is, your daughter heard all those prophecies.
she received
She
many
received
prophecies.
them, so she knows what God's plan
Oh,
is.
she doesn't know that people tell me when see my daughter, when they pray for my daughter, they see that God prepared a man
She
who is a
must know,
field.
she must
She
know
does-
something. She must know that God has a plan for her.
She left the church when she was 14, so
Okay.
she's kind of not knowing, but I'm
But
praying
you
that
never-
she'll
you
come
never-
back to God.
You never told her like God has a plan for you?
Well, I sometimes say it, but she's kind of laugh at it. She's 19 right
Oh,
now.
okay.
But the prophecy says that she will come back to God, and God has a plan for her,
Okay.
and God is gonna using her, all those things, but I just see right now the choices, the environment she's in, that was the God the Satan knows that God has a plan for my daughter, so it's
Yeah, so
that
it's something
they are doing something to my daughter that is try to make this purpose of her life, not realize, from God. So what I should do, I mean, except
Well, you
that,
should truly pray.
yeah,
You should truly pray.
I have been praying so much.
I walked in a situation that a pastor wanted me to pray for all his young people, and I think it was 200, so he locked me up in a room, and every 5 minutes someone came in, so I was there for days prophesying over people. And so at some point a young lady, she was not that tall, small, came in, and so I said, okay, Lord, come. And I saw one of those plastic rodeo bulls, someone sit on it, and it starts turning and bumping and whatever, and I see her on it, and she's going to fall off. So I told her, I said, this is what I see, and she started crying, and I understood she already knew what it was about. I had a strong impression it was the wrong boyfriend. And I said, okay, in case you repent, this is the promise of God. There's a calling in ministry for you. There's a calling to be a missionary. And so I told her what God had in mind, and she was crying. The next day, she quickly dropped in. She says, I must tell you something. I finished with my unbelieving boyfriend. Now she's one of the directors of the healing room in that town, and she recently made her first missionary trip. And I thought, the devil almost got her, and she was just snatched, in front of his mouth. She was snatched away. But of course, she also had a desire, So you can pray for your daughter. Maybe he even brings a prophet along to speak to her. You don't know how that happens, how God can touch her. But you see how much danger is and how effective. Sometimes people say, don't talk about the devil. No, I disagree. I think we should know our enemy.
Yes.
And he has a strategy. So God has a strategy, but it only works when we voluntarily agree. So first you have to give a life to Jesus, get baptized in the Holy Spirit, learn to walk in the Spirit. That's the way how we get to God's destiny. And it's amazing. It's above us. It's bigger than us. And that's God's idea. And then there's the devil who has I think he is the only one next to God who knows who we are, because he has a big insight. So he already knows what God wants to do there. So how can we stop that? How can we sneak in somewhere? How can we tempt? How can we produce lies? And so he uses everything at his disposal: sicknesses, accidents, the wrong friends, the wrong girlfriends, all kind of disappointments, things that happen in church. He uses all that to get us off track, and he uses that. And sometimes we get out of track, and then we should go back quickly. But as a mother, you pray for your child, and I think you should even rebuke those spirits. Now and then you should not just pray, but say, I rebuke those spirits, lying spirits that confuse my daughter. Sometimes you should
I do that.
Okay, great.
I did everything, but the thing is, as long as they're not totally committed to the Lord, it's like the Satan can take an advantage of them because they don't
Sure.
see, they
Sure.
just don't see until they realize. But how I'm gonna know the promise of God is gonna be realized. You understand what I mean?
No, well,
For sure,
any promise of that God has for me,
yeah.
those promises are conditional,
Yes.
meaning that I probably, because I didn't repent in time, I might miss something of it. And the more I postpone to follow Jesus, the more I'm missing on it. So, the promise that God has is really enormous, but it includes me obeying Him. And the less I obey, or the later I obey, it will take off portions of that promise, because then we can't reach all of that. So the more stupid mistakes we make, slices of that promise will be taken off and will not come to fulfillment. And so you pray for your child, sometimes you rebuke demons. People also have free will. I mean, I have a free will. I told you about a moment of disobedience in my life. And I said that's not going to happen again. But if I would regularly disobey God, for instance, not wanting to give away when God says give, I'm going to miss things. I'm going to miss things that God had in store for me. I'm going to miss it. So it is a battle. It is a battle, and each one of us has to fight for it. I don't want to miss anything anymore. And even if God tells me, like, okay, right now there's no woman in your life, and you still have to go around the world a few times before I bring her, I have to agree with Him and go that way, and not try to organize something myself. Think of Abraham, the child Isaac was not born. And so Abraham is like impatient. And he says, well, I want to organize something myself because God is waiting to fulfill His promise, so I'm going to organize something myself. So he had Hagar, and Ishmael was born. And so it caused a lot of problems up to now. Because still, the Jews are in war with the Arabs. And the Jews come from Isaac, and the Arabs come from Ishmael. So Abraham wanted to make a little detour and organize things himself, like his own idea, not following God, and it harmed the promise. So our decisions do have consequences, and of course you pray and hope that they will soon make the right decision. You have a question.
I had, a kind of comment, if it's okay, I can talk.
Oh, sure.
I have 2 adult children. Oh, they're both married. My daughters are both married. But when my daughter was in high school, she was dating a man, a young, they were the same age. But, things were going on when I was at work. And I continued to take her to church with me. She said, Mom, no, I don't want to go. I'm Muslim. I said, okay, no more bacon for you. Oh, I'm gonna go to church. But what I did, and I learned in church, to pray for your children, blessing, pray good things over them, right, before they leave the house, every day. But what I did, she was with her boyfriend. He went to a church with her, and I blessed him. Shortly after that, they split up. She was so brokenhearted. He cheated on her with one of her friends. That couple is now married. They're blessed, they have children, whatever. But also pray for the people around your daughter. The people that are influencing her life. Because God can remove those people from her life. And He may be painful for her if she's betrayed like that. But then maybe that sometimes it takes us making a mistake to turn us back to God. And she may have some pain, but like you said about being a friend, it's better to have that short pain than something that's not true.
Yeah.
So we don't have much time here. I think we're gonna have to kind of leave pretty soon. But if you want to just take a moment of just quiet, and if you have a word for any 1 or 2 people, that would be interesting.
So all those that did not get to receive a word from me, because I'm not going to
If you didn't like the word,
so
you
I prophesied over some of you, but for those that did not receive a prophetic word, we can do that. How shall we do that? You want that to receive that in public, or you want to is a bit more private, it's.
Private.
Private, okay.
Private.
And I think we should in some way conclude the meeting here.
Okay.
And then, everyone who did not yet, because I'm not going to prophesy every week over the same person.
I think we need to, and close that off in about a half an hour, so we've got about a half an hour to do
Okay.
that.
Well, I have something that really disturbed me. I had a cousin, my sister's daughter, and she was 18, and you see in the family, they're really devout Christians, and so she went with Youth with a Vision and spent half a year on the mercy ships.
Oh, cool.
And you're really great, and I prayed for her every day, and it was amazing. And she felt her calling to be a missionary doctor, so she really wanted to be a doctor. And then something happened. It was one of her friends that she met on Mercy Ship that died in a traffic accident on the mission field. And so she got offended, like, okay, if God is like that, if he does not protect, so if someone that has a missionary heart dies on the mission field, then I'm not going to serve him. And she gave up on God. Found herself a Catholic boyfriend. Well, in fact, now he is going to church, she isn't going at all. She became a doctor, but all her calling is like gone because she took offense. And so this is one of the typical strategies. How are you going to deal with offense?
Yeah.
Are you going to accuse God, like, you didn't protect my friends, so I'm leaving you? So the devil has this set of offenses and strategies to keep us off track and to make us feel insecure. So that's the way he works. And in fact, when you see it from a distance, you see it's quite obvious, it's quite clear, quite obvious. When you're in it, you might not be willing to see it because you're too offended. But actually, there are two kingdoms in war, and it's a real war. And it's a war, and we are getting wounded. There are victims, there are people that die. Maybe in America you don't have so much of it, but I mean, when you have lived in Europe, we had the Iron Curtain just 400 kilometers from our home, and we knew on the other side of the border, people were actually put in jail, and some of them died, they were murdered, and that was all pretty close. And so then it's a real war, it's bitter, and then when you take offense because you believe God is in control of everything, and then something happens that is bitter, you accuse him. And so the devil uses all kinds of ways of lying, discouragement, telling you you're not good enough, sort of lies inside our soul, circumstances, people that humiliate you. He uses everything to get us out of that. I think we should preach more about the devil. But I mean, we should make people aware that there is a war going on, and that you have to fight. That's why Paul speaks about this war, this race, fight, armor, helmet, everything. Because it's a war, not against flesh and blood, he says, but against principalities, against that was in the air. And I think there isn't much. I don't know, every church is different. Some churches are open for that, they speak about that, and some churches are not. And really, I don't want anyone to get off track, because it's so sad.
Well, some people, they say, if you focus on God, what His power, what He can do, you have faith, and then you just pray for the protection, for everything that God will do, then just laugh at the Satan, so whatever.
Well,